105, want to bounce. What up, though? It's your big homie Kimbro here with you. So we've got a double dose of NFL talent joining us. We're chatting with two players making plays each week, not only on the field, but also they're making plays for the kids of Metro Detroit. Let's welcome KJ Osborn of the Washington Commanders and Tyler Mabry of the Seattle Seahawks. What's up?
What's up, man? Glad to have us. Appreciate you having us.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate both of you all joining me today. So let's get right into it. What inspired both of you to start this football camp, and what are your main goals for the kids who participate?
Right, I think me and Tyler always say, just being from Metro Detroit area, that when we made it to the league, it was always our goal to give back. Every year we say at the camp, it's a dream come true for ourselves to even be able to give back to the community. There's some guys out of Detroit, but there's not a lot of guys from Ipsy, that's made it to the NFL. So to be able to give back to the community, give some kids, that role model presence. It's a blessing to be able to do it and get out there to let the kids have fun, run around, teach them the fundamentals of the game, compete, and again, just have fun.
But
Just like they just said, it's a blessing to give back. And one of my favorite things is seeing the same kids that come back again and again. And it fills them up and it fills us up, saying it shows that, people care for one another. It brings the community together. So that's the main thing. Old coaches come back. It's just a whole bunch of joy that fills the area. That's what we love so much.
man, that's what's up. I love it. I love to hear it. So you say the camp focus on the fundamentals. So why is it so important for the young players to know these fundamentals, and what specific fundamentals will you be emphasizing on?
The basics, let me tell you, is effort. People say you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But if you ain't got no effort, why are you playing? And that's the main thing. The first 30 minutes we doing this thing we learned at Alabama camp. It just you gotta be in shape. If you're not in shape, what are you doing? We got the 5-10-5 drill, we got the L drill, we got this thing called mat drills in college, conditioning. And if you don't have that dog in you, why you even playing the sport? So we got a tackling circuit with ladders, just a whole bunch of drills that we just want to get the kids and let them be an athlete. That's the main thing we want to show them out there.
For that. So so walk us through it. So what is a typical day at the camp? Like what's the schedule like? Like I know you kind of went into it, but like what specific activities do you have planned?
Yeah, that's a good question because this year we switching it up a little bit. So of course there's a registration. For registration, we'll line everybody up and get in our stretch lines, and that's where we get it going, man. We introduce all the coaches. We got the DJs going and the music blasting. Just getting the energy pumping. I feel like with the kids, we try to give them the same experience that we have in our same NFL experiences. When you step on the grass, you step on the turf. It's go time. Getting that energy going. And we get the kids stretched out, and then we split up in groups. And again, like you said, L drill, 5-10-5, mat drills, bag drills, tackling circuits. Going through the fundamentals. At the end of the day, football is a kid's game, and it comes down to simple things: running, catching, tackling, and throwing the football. And they tell us in the NFL, you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training, and we're doing those things. You hear basketball players, they don't start off with 3 pointers. They're right at the line, right at the hoop, just shooting this close shots because that's the fundamentals. So we do that first. After that, we'll start to get into competing. This year we are doing. We're still kind of debating some things. What do we want to do? We got a surprise for the kids. Rather, we want to do either a relay race or fastest man. Usually, we do fastest man every year, but we may have a little surprise. Outside of that, we definitely have another surprise, which is called like a shake drill, which is running back, linebacker, receiver, defensive back. Tossing the kid the ball. The flag football is becoming very popular and is about to become an official Olympic sport. Just tagging off. Just you got about 7 yards, and let's see, can you got some moves, see if you got some wiggle. Can you get your flag pulled or pull a flag. After that, we'll play what's called ultimate football, which is very, very exciting. I think as we've seen over the years, kids want to compete. They want to do the drills. They want to see who's the fastest man. They want to do relay. They want to do tug of war. They want to play the game. And ultimate football is something that me and Tyler, we went, and Jeff Stokes, another friend of ours that was at Ypsilanti Lincoln with us.
Okay.
We went down in high school and it taught us a game called Bama Ball, which was similar to ultimate football. So It's not flag football, it's not tackle football, but it's a variation of it. But it's a chance to compete and play, and I think the kids will really really enjoy that. After that, we'll give some awards, some MVPs, get some pizza, sign some autographs, take some
Free,
pictures.
free food,
Uh,
heavy free food.
and we this year we have a McDonald's sponsor, which is pretty cool. We got a bunch of sponsors, but our biggest one is McDonald's this year, and I think that'll be pretty cool.
That's what's up. Now, so this camp is open to third and ninth graders. Now, how do you tailor the instructions to different age groups and their skill levels?
Mhm.
We're gonna break it up, and when it comes to the stretch lines, and just we have a each just have a coach for each group, just how to break it down. And that's why we're just starting off with like simplicity has been lost. That's why we're saying we're so heavy on the foundation, the fundamentals. That's where we're going to start them off, and then just different age groups so kids can feel confident with their age group. So that's what like maybe third and fourth, fifth and sixth, and just keep it like seven and nine, just so kids can stay in their same age group and they can move at the progression that they're supposed to.
Definitely. So you both, grew up in Ipsy, right? You both went to Lincoln High School. Why is it important for you to give back to the next generation of football players in your hometown?
Just the main thing that they're not forgotten because it's so quick. Like, what's the next big thing? But it started with a small thing, and me and KJ came from Ypsilanti and Lincoln. We saw Tyree Waller, like that was the first dude that went D1 from our school. So we was like, well, we can do it. And even though me and KJ transferred out, we still want the kids to know, hey, we still love y'all. Our heart's still with Ypsilanti and Lincoln. We
Right.
want to give back. We want to pour into you, and we want to keep that cycle going. It's like generational blessings. It's like since we did it, they're going to do it and they're going to continue because I believe, both of us believe there's going to be a star that came from the KJ Tyler Mabry football camp. And that's going to be the biggest blessing right there.
Definitely. Definitely. So I guess that piggybacks on my next question. So what are some of the key lessons or values that you hope that the kids take away from the camp?
I think something that's involved in all sports, effort, hard work, perseverance,
Yep.
teamwork, communication. I think that's why sports is so important to not only whatever your sport is, but you take these things off to life, and you're able to utilize these skills. You're making friends.
Mhm.
Again, me and Tyler been best friends in what fifth, sixth grade. We met at these types of camps. Some of my best friends that we were in weddings with, we met at these types of camps. Creating that bond and that chemistry. A lot of these kids are they grow up in the same city, so they will be on the same teams. They have a chance to be another KJ Osborn, Tyler Mabry, like Tyler said in this camp.
Mhm.
But life skills. Life skills. We preach that. We talk about that. We talk about grades. We talk about whatever people's faith and beliefs are. We talk about listening to your parents and things like that. Again, not just giving them the tools on the field, but off the field, because if you don't have that, there is no sports.
That's facts.
Absolutely.
That's facts. So how do you manage your NFL careers and the responsibilities of running the camp?
I'll let you take this one, Kai.
All right. My mom always have taught me, and I've always one of my favorite scriptures. Much is given, much is required. And if the Lord blessed us with these talents and these abilities, just know it's not for ourselves. It's to bless and pour out to others. So
Mhm.
again, to show people, we walked the same halls. We went on the same streets, rode the same bus, went to the same stores.
Mhm.
And we come from the same city as you, and and we were able to do it. So we're not too busy. It's not too big or too small not to come back to our own community, and to be able to give back to these kids, to shake hands and laugh and have fun, and to just to pour into the community, man. I think, like I said, it's just it's really a dream come true for us to be able to do that. And we definitely that's why we emphasize it every year. I think we're going on our fourth camp now. But I mean, it's very fulfilling, and it's a responsibility, and it's something that we don't take lightly. We put a lot into it, and I think in this first couple of years, it's really paid off. And again, it's just been a dream come true.
And
Sure.
just to add on that, the scripture came to my mind: seek first the kingdom, and he shall add everything else to you. And the main thing is like we have a great team. KJ's marketing team has helped us out tremendous, got the sponsorships, and just this each year keeps coming, and they see the joy as well on the kids as much as it is on us. And I just really believe that, we keep doing this, something special is gonna come out of it. So just how we manage it is it just know it's bigger than us. And
Yeah.
that's what makes us like, we gotta do this again. Like me and KJ's schedule is still busy, but at the same time, like we're gonna fly up to Ypsilanti, Michigan, and we're gonna have fun for 2 days because it's like them kids are always gonna remember this camp.
Yes, for sure. So, with this being your fourth annual camp, now I know you've talked about different things that you're doing different this year, but do you have any plans to expand the camp, add any new features, maybe twice a year kind of thing?
I've had some things in the back of my head. Like I said, there's myself, there's Tyler, there's Kamal Hadden. I just got drafted to the Chiefs last year. He's now with the Packers. He's from like the Metro Detroit area. I'm really cool with Donovan Peoples Jones, who was just with the Detroit Lions with the Cast Tech, just signed with the Saints. I'm cool with Amon Ra. I'm cool with JMO. So even down the line, I have been able to brainstorm some things, kind of just in the back of my head. Like, maybe we'll try to get some of those guys out here, especially like the Lions players. Obviously they would love if Amon could come out there. They would love if James Winston could come out there. Those are some guys I kind of keep up with in the offseason, especially Amon. I think I'm supposed to be doing some training with him in California this offseason.
Okay.
In the future, maybe getting a chance to get those guys out there. Donovan People Jones again. He runs a camp I think up at Cass. Every off season. So that's definitely something in the back of my head that I've thought about, and maybe we'll see. Can we we'll be able to do something.
Definitely. So, I think you already kind of touched upon this, but what impact do you hope that this camp will have on the Ypsilanti community in the long run?
I'll say just to continue to invest into your the children. I think sometimes they get like from the beginning they get forgotten about,
Yeah.
and then like these things are kids that will never forget. And this is how the community expands. This is how the football program grows, the basketball program grows. Like everybody's, it's a belief, and
Mhm.
that's what we want to believe. If the kids have the belief, the parents have the belief, the teachers will have the belief, and we want to keep that hope alive in the community.
Definitely. Man, this is so dope. So, what advice would you give to that young, aspiring football player who's listening right now or wanting to play in the NFL?
Man, my number one thing was believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Believe in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. The first thing they say, when you're in fourth and fifth grade, when they say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want
Mhm.
to be in the NFL. My goal when I was a kid, I want to be the first player to play in the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. That was my dream when I was a kid. And obviously, but the first thing they say is, okay, well, what's your backup plan? Not that you should not have a backup plan, but believe in yourself and go all in, man. Go all in and work hard. Understand that. And I always tell the kids, it's not just in football. It's you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a firefighter. It's going to take a tremendous level of hard work and perseverance. It's not you got to take the stairs. You're not going to be able to take the elevators. There's no easy way. There's no shortcut and no secret. The secret is hard work. The secret is doing the work when the doors are closed and nobody can see you and you're not recording it and posting it. That's when we were growing up. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing sit-ups. I'm trying to drink my chocolate milk so I can have strong muscles. This was a lifetime journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. You don't become an overnight success.
Mhm.
So I would tell the kids to believe in yourself, work hard, continue to work hard, and just continue to stack days. You're not going to get it again overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It may not happen in an off season, but over time, year after year after year, you will start to see the progressions. When I was a kid, I was a 2-star recruit. I had one scholarship offer. I was just explaining it to my team now. I watched the Commanders. I think I was probably ranked 2,000 something. In the rival stuff. They got all this NIL stuff, and a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff can be discouraging and hurt confidence. But
Right.
I promise you, I was a late bloomer. If you continue to put in the work, over time, you will start to ascend from your peers. So I would say, believe in yourself, continue to put in the work, and again, I always have to say, keep God first.
That's facts, man. I was about to say, you got to keep God first.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I'll just say, just going off what Kate said as well, like our whole journey, God has been the foundation. Our parents instilled it into us, and he carried us throughout this whole journey. But the main thing I would tell like a young athlete is this: be in the moment. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know when it's going to be your last time playing the game of football, basketball, baseball, whatever. be in the moment and be a kid, but also challenge yourself. Ask yourself, did I give it all I did today? Did I give my best? Did I give effort? And just challenge yourself every single day, and that will push you because you are your biggest competition. Don't worry about what they're doing in California, Florida. Do what you're doing in Ypsilanti, Michigan. That's what matters. So that's what I'll say.
Definitely, because one of the phrases I live by definitely is to get 1% better every day. So,
Right.
and it doesn't matter what you do. You know, if you pushing a broom or working on a rocket ship. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, get 1% better every day, man. So I
Right.
appreciate that for sure. So KJ Tyler, the football camp is at Lincoln High School Stadium, May 31st. Now you said the kids can still come and register.
Yup.
Yeah, they can. The walk-ups are accepted. I just spoke to a kid today. He thought he couldn't come because it was sold out. It's not sold out. It's sold out online. You
Mhm.
definitely can walk up. We got extra flags. We got extra shirts. Just bring a smile and some cleats. That's all you need.
That's dope, man. So registration, I'm looking here. Registration starts at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Right, registration 9 o'clock. Camp starts at 10. Parent pickups is at 1:30. Make sure you're there on time, parents.
Get
Please.
your kids. Get your kids.
Your kids, because they're gonna be put to work at Lincoln High School.
Clean up crew.
Man. Well, I appreciate you guys for stopping through, man. And it's all love. And again, the camp is still going on May 31st in Lincoln High School in Ypsi, 7267 Willis Road in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Take your kids, man. Teach them something.
Mhm.
Appreciate y'all, man.
We'll see y'all soon.
All right.